Hello, hello, everybody. For today, we get to go to day 2 of Pause in Bloom, right? And just to go right now to allow ourselves to take that pause. It feels so juicy for me, what I mentioned yesterday. And if you didn't catch it, I really want you to hear this. For ambitious women, there is so much power and potency when we take a pause. A pause can be a split second, it can be irrelevant of time. It's coming to center, it's coming to home. And the thing that is so important to remember is that when we take the pause, there is absolute movement happening. It's movement of passion, it's movement of creativity, it's movement in filling up our cup. So then when we go into more tangible movement, it's a more potent version of us that is moving. And when we are in movement, we find our stillness and our home and our pause, our intuition, our inner guidance system. And so, something like an event like this to come in and really allow yourself to fill up, learn. It's this balancing act between I want to give you education and tangible things to start in action, but also space for self reflection, right? Because we're allowing this space to say, of all the places I can be today, right now, I'm choosing this, right? Whether you're watching it live or the replay, I really honor that. And welcome back. If you're here on day 2, if this is your first day, awesome, awesome. Welcome. You're in the perfect place. You can always watch the replay from yesterday. We're only on day 2. Hopefully you have your workbook. If you don't, just comment down below, comment down below, comment down below, workbook, and the team will get you either the link to register, or if you're already registered, make sure that you have the workbook, okay? For those of you that are new to me or just getting to know me, I'm Maraya Brown. I'm a Yale and functional medicine trained nurse practitioner and midwife. I've been in women's health for over 25 years, starting as a midwife and now running a thriving functional medicine practice that's online. And I serve women all over the world. We've got women here from all over the world today. I'm a mama of 3. They are 12, 11, and 7. I'm a wife, I'm a founder, and I'm a really fierce believer that vibrant women change the world. And so I love that you're saying yes to you and really claiming that, because I believe it's a birthright for each and every one of us. I was watching a reel by the new Surgeon General. I'm not getting into politics here, but in the US, a new Surgeon General was just appointed. And one of the things that just lit me up is she said what's important to her is that women show up as the CEO of their health. And I'm just like, yes. Can we all show up as the CEO of our passion, the CEO of our lives, the CEO of our schedule, and the CEO of our health? And that means we delegate well. That means we make really potent decisions for vibrancy. So cheers to you being here. I see this time that we're sharing as part of that. So I created this work because I saw far too many women dismissed, exhausted, stuck in survival mode, and I knew that there was more. When I ran the women's health in brick and mortar, federally funded clinic, private, posh functional medicine practices with fountains in the waiting room, and also running international health projects in Ghana and Haiti and Nicaragua, I just longed for this option to be able to fill women up, to have space to give you one-on-one time, do better testing, and also empower you with the education. So it's not just giving you a fish, but it's teaching you to fish. And particularly if you end up choosing to come internal and work with me and the team, then we really get to move and groove and get juicy. So we're going to explore today 6 areas that have quietly kept you stuck in fine, right? Maybe not awful. For some of you, it might feel awful, but maybe not quite falling apart, but that whisper underneath the surface that's just fine. I really want to abolish that. I want women to stand strong with our voice and our belief and our identity, to be able to claim that we want to feel vibrant. You are not here to be fine. If you were okay going belly up to status quo, you wouldn't be here. You're here to feel vibrant, to feel radiant and fully alive. Keep your workbook close, engage in the chat, please. Actually, right now in the chat, I would love to know how many of you have attended one of my events before. Like, are we familiar? Say again. And if this is your first time ever receiving from me or being in one of my events, just say first time. I would actually love to see that. If you'd be open, just put in the chat either again or first time. Hi, Brigitte. Nice to see you. First time, first time. Okay. Let's talk about pretending fine is enough. If you imagine a woman walking into a room, no flashy jewelry. I've got my bling bling today. Maybe no designer bag, but you can't take your eyes off of her. She radiates. There's something about her. Maybe it's her glow. Maybe it's her presence. Maybe it's her energy, right? It's not surface. It's soul. It's a woman who's deeply turned on by her own life. Can anybody relate to that? Do you know what that feels like? Where we just go, ooh, I'll have what she's having. Yeah. To go, right. Is it her hormones? Is it her energy? Is it her libido? Is it her confidence? Is it the community that she keeps? Is it her vision casting? And I say it's all of it. It's soul work. And what I know is when these 6 areas are in sync, on the workbook, we have vibrancy in the middle. But when all these other areas are in sync, we feel magnetic, right? We feel alive. We feel on purpose. But when even one of them is off, it ripples into everything else. And sometimes it's a small ripple, sometimes it's very big. And so women come to me and they say things like, I've tried everything. I don't recognize myself. This is not what I thought it was going to be like at this point in my life. On the flip side, when strong women invest in themselves deeply and fully, fine is no longer enough, right? You start to expect more from your body, from your health, from your life, from your finances, from the community that you keep, from the people that you surround yourself with, because you finally know what's possible. So let's drop into the workbook a little bit together and go ahead and turn to day 2. And we can kind of name what's real. Many of you completed the vitality assessment. If you missed day 1, don't worry about it. You'll be able to go back. There was a nice questionnaire. You could kind of go, where am I quantifiably in this vitality assessment? And I gave some really specific action steps you could start taking today. And it was clear for this group, energy and hormones were the areas where most of you felt depleted. And I'm like, well, good thing you're here. You're in the right place. This is like my specialty, right? And some of you also noted low libido. I've got you. Disrupted sleep was definitely something. And there was this theme of kind of feeling disconnected from your body. So today I want to go a little bit deeper and let's talk about kind of the broader impact. So my question is, how has waking up tired day after day shaped your ability to dream? And if that's not something that you relate to, if you're not waking up tired, someone who is. When you think about either yourself or the person that you know, what do you think it does to their ability to dream? What does it do to their ability to dream? I've had women say, I used to have vision boards and journals full of ideas, and now I can't even imagine what's next. I'm just surviving. I'm just putting one foot in front of the other. Or I know I'm meant for more, but exhaustion keeps me playing small. Almost like dreaming feels like a luxury that someone can't afford. Right? If you think through, if there's been time in your life or right now or someone you know where waking up tired day after day, what is it doing to their ability to dream? What about brain fog? If you think about presence, your ability to really be present. If someone is struggling with brain fog, just like a little bit lack of clarity, you can't find the word, you can't quite remember why you walked into the room, there's just something that's not crisp. How is it impacting your presence? I've had a woman say, I forget what I was saying mid-sentence and it makes me second guess myself, or I snap at my kids and then I feel guilty because it's coming from a lack of patience. It's coming from hormones are off, or I'm too tired, or I'm struggling with brain fog and can't keep up. Totally. Like a depression in the body, because often brain fog and depression can really show up similarly in the same energy. And what about the cost if you feel disconnected from your sensuality or your sexuality? And then if we go, what if I feel disconnected from my passion? What if I feel disconnected from feeling sensual about the day that I'm waking up to? Who I look in the mirror, how I look in the mirror, even just your relationship with your sexuality. What is the cost of feeling disconnected from that? I've had women say things like, I feel like a stranger in my own body. Intimacy feels like an obligation, not a joy, or we bicker more than we make love. I've heard it's been so long since I felt truly desired, or it's been so long since I've desired anything. You know, a lot of the women that work with me, we're up to big things. We want to serve a lot of people. We want to have a ripple effect in the world. And when there's a lack of passion, it's like, oh, it's a little dull, right? Which means the energy that we're sharing is a little dull. Costs intimacy, totally. Is a dreary existence. It's like to really hit home with the cost of low energy, the cost of hormones being off, the cost of libido being low, right? And to go, man, there is a broader ripple effect with health and how health or lack of health is influencing our financial potential, your capacity to serve, lead, or innovate. If you're not sleeping, if you're irritable all the time, if you're always worrying, I call it emotional labor. If there's emotional labor going in the background, like, what is wrong with me? Why does my body hurt? Why is my menstrual cycle all over the place? I'm having hot flashes. I'm having pain, right? And what happens is women will turn down opportunities because they're afraid, what if I don't have the energy to deliver? Or the who am I stories will get in the way. I know I could grow my business faster, but I'm constantly managing symptoms instead of scaling, right? So we just go, there's real cost involved. I really want you to hear this, that these aren't just symptoms, they're signals. Maybe it's a blinking yellow light. Maybe it's a blinking red light. Hello, wake up, wake up. And they echo across every layer of life, from your relationships to your bank account to your confidence. And then for those of us that are mothers or grandmothers, there's a big ripple effect because the younger ones that are around us do what we do, not what we say. Put your hand on your chest for a second. We don't need to carry the guilt, especially for those of you that are here, because you're doing something about it. You're saying enough is enough, right? And we get to claim it. We get to say, this is my birthright. I want to feel spectacular. I want rockin' energy and hormones and libido and confidence and vision casting, and to surround myself with a community that inspires me and believes in me and starts with joy and love and gratitude and light and belief. And even if you've seen the naturopaths and the acupuncturists and you've been knocking on the door of providers, stats show that on average, women will try 8 different providers before they're actually taken seriously. And I go, no, you're here. And I'm so glad that you are. While you're here, Michelle, I'm thinking if it's okay with you, let's go ahead and bring you on, because Michelle is someone that I wanted to bring in to share a testimonial. She was grateful enough to come in and volunteer her time. Thank you, Michelle. Hi, you look so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
Where are you right now?
In my brand new kitchen.
Are you okay just introducing yourself? Tell the group a little bit about you.
My name is Michelle. I live in upstate New York. I have 4 grown children and a brand new granddaughter who's 10 months old. And I own a private practice with a business partner. I'm a speech pathologist, and I primarily service little ones in early intervention. So I'm in and out of people's homes. I'm also passionate about health and wellness and have been for about probably 15 years. In 2020, I pursued health coaching certification through IIN.
And so when you chose to become a health coach, what was the motivation?
I was out of books to read. I didn't know where else to look. I felt like I had watched all the podcasts and read all the books that all the people on the podcast said to read, and I just wanted more direction. I had taken on the philosophy, like, I want my health span to last my lifespan. So I was just trying to figure out all the ways. And then ways to teach my family. My children were becoming adults and making their own decisions, so I wanted more information to help them.
Yeah. You know, it's so fun for me. I've had OBGYNs and midwives and acupuncturists and naturopaths and nurses and nutritionists come in and take my programs, but also stay-at-home moms and CEOs and entrepreneurs. It's like, but it's always so fun when I get to work with people that this is already their specialty. And so you had already gotten your certification because you were struggling with what was the piece that you were really struggling with, where you were like, okay, I've read all the books, I got the certification, I became a nutritionist, and still I'm not figuring out my unique puzzle and I'm still struggling with insert the blank.
It was kind of a lot of things. I had been in the space where I wasn't just fine, I was fabulous and fantastic and vibrant and juicy. And I had been in that space. And then it slipped away. I had been given a lupus diagnosis about 15 years ago because I just couldn't put a finger on what was happening. So I was like, well, I've got to make some changes. So over the course of some years, I made changes and then I felt great. And then all of a sudden, COVID came and I had some changes at home. My kids moved away. I was going through perimenopause and there was just so many changes. And all of a sudden, I was feeling great until I woke up one day and I wasn't. I went to my gynecologist and she said, oh, geez, I'm not sure this is for me. I think this is for your primary. So I went to my primary and I talked to him and he said, well, this isn't for me, that you need to go back to your rheumatologist. So I went to the rheumatologist and she said, well, you're just not sick enough for me. And that was so frustrating because I had tried all the things. That was right around the time when my son wasn't feeling well. And I had heard your name from a colleague of my husband's. I was like, well, maybe she can help. There's something with functional medicine. After speaking with you, I was like, hey, wait a minute. I think we connected because we were supposed to connect, not
Mhm.
necessarily my
Yeah,
sons.
I remember that. So some of you,
Mhm.
Chris Kenny was a client of mine. He shared a
Mhm.
public testimonial, so I can use his name. And so I had helped him recover. He actually, ironically, had systemic mold, and he had seen 23 different specialists, 8 different ER visits. And so after working with him, he introduced the two of us.
Yes.
We were thinking that maybe I could help your son, and then instead you came in and started working with me and the team. So curious. When you came in and started receiving from us, what changed?
I've been reflecting on that actually for a couple of days because I was trying to put my finger on that. And I think the big thing that changed for me was I learned how to ask myself deeper questions
Mm,
and then how to be quiet and listen for the answer. I
mm,
think is the biggest thing. And then all of the one-on-ones and the group calls and all of that, just there was so much information there and so many suggestions and things to work on and things to try or things to take out. And it just was really taking time and sorting all of that out and trying it. And I'm like, that's not it. Or yeah, this works. Or wait a minute, that was too many things. I have no idea what worked. Stop all of those things, start
mhm.
again. There was a lot of that. So this was in March of 2024. And probably about March of this year, I woke up and I was like, wait a minute, I really am feeling pretty good. And I, kind of like sat down and I looked at the calendar and I was like, this has been going on for a couple of weeks. And then I started to take notes and was writing down, I feel great again today. I slept well. This is going well. For me, it's hard to say exactly which one of the things it was because there were
Yep.
so many things that I just tried a lot of them and figured it out because I listened to what was working.
And you were in the Women's Vibrancy Code. So we did
Mm-hmm.
GI, we had did gut
We all that.
microbiome testing,
Right.
we did
Right.
adrenal testing, we looked at your hormones, and then you had time with me and the team dietitian and the
Mhm.
group dynamic. So there was, and we had time, and there was a number of like, let's try switching this variable. Oh, not quite it. How about this? Can you describe what it feels like now? And especially having been given the gift of listening inside, that's invaluable.
For sure. I feel back to where I was before. I
Mm.
feel smart again. I feel creative. I feel like I can solve problems and I can listen to something that's happening at work and I can come up with a solution. I can read a book at night. Sometimes my brain was just so foggy. I couldn't even read a novel because I couldn't keep up with the storyline. So I just feel like all of the things that I enjoyed, I can hit my workouts hard. I can ride my bike a long time. I can go
Yeah.
hiking, all the things that, I had kind of lost for a while there, I'm finding again.
What's the ripple effect in how you show up for your children and your
Oh,
grandchild and your
right.
husband and your work?
Sure. First and foremost, probably it would be for my husband because that's who I spend the most time with. We both work partly at home and partly on the road. So there are some times when we're together a lot. I think he probably is noticing that things are better because when you feel
Mhm.
better, you're nicer. And I think he's benefited a lot because I'm probably much nicer to him now.
And I remember at the beginning, you guys have a really solid marriage. Like
We do.
it wasn't like that was one of the areas you
No.
thought you'd work on. But I love this to go, I'm just a nicer human being. And
Yeah.
also to go, yeah, I'm adding to my lifespan. I'm adding to my sense of longevity so that we get to play together longer. How
Yeah.
many years have you guys been married?
31 and a half.
Let's go for another 31 and a half. Come on,
At
baby.
least, you bet. Yes.
When you think about the one-on-one time and the group calls and the modules and the labs, and is there anything that really jumps out at you that felt like this was the part that was really potent for me, especially for those listening and if they're curious?
The labs I found fascinating because I had read so much about having labs done and I always wanted to know, what does that look like for me? So that was really important for me. And I loved that information. And then how we discussed it and how I could say, oh, well, I should do this. Whether we were talking about hormones or gut health. I mean, I was really intrigued by the gut health. I had been eating gluten-free for about 5 years, but I would, have French fries when we went out sometimes or chicken wings sometimes because it was hard to eat gluten-free. And then my testing came back, that I had a lot of antibodies and, that was a bad idea. And so that I think was a big one too, when I really went like no gluten at all. I think that was probably a lot. I loved the sleep hygiene stuff that we talked about. I didn't know that even tiny amounts of caffeine could stay with a person for 12 hours. But if I have matcha 11 o'clock in the morning, I should be fine. And I just realized, wait a minute, maybe I'm not fine. So just like I
Yeah.
said, I learned how to like, whoa, ask myself that question and look at that. So sleep
Hmm.
was a big one for me. I mean, I had so much pain I couldn't roll over in bed, and now I don't, which is just
Yay!
fabulous.
I
Yeah.
love it. And I think that fine tuning your hormonal vitality made a big difference too. Honestly, the majority of the labs that we're looking at are through urine, saliva, and stool. There are some blood tests, and it really kind of depends on where you are geographically. Much easier for clients in the US. I work around it for clients in Canada. For my clients that are currently in Europe, New Zealand, Australia, we have to get a little bit creative. And often it's helping to you to be in the place of self advocacy to go to your provider and ask for specific blood tests that I would like to see, that often they don't even know what they are. They don't know why you're ordering. And you have to be in that place of strength and just say, listen, I'll pay cash. It doesn't matter. Just order them for me. And so, yeah, it's a mixture of all of it. And I'll talk more about that as we progress. Michelle, anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so. Thank you. It's been fabulous. I'm so happy to be back and be in the
Hmm.
space and spend
Yeah.
time with amazing women who, also want to make those changes and feel vibrant
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
fabulous.
I
Thank you
love having you
for having
back
me.
and just feel totally open to whatever comes next with you and I.
Yeah, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Okay, everybody. So good, right? And it's always so fun, just especially when someone is courageous enough to come on camera is necessarily easy for everyone. And I just really applaud any of the testimonial interviews that you guys watch. Let's continue to kind of focus on the workbook. I encourage you to say it out loud. Today, as I explore the 6 areas that have kept me in fine, I allow myself to tell the truth gently, bravely, and without shame. Right? We're so good as women to sweep things under the rug and just keep going, dealing with the fire that's in front of us, but to actually go, wait a minute, I'm actually going to take a pause and listen inside. And what is my truth? What is really going on? And to look at energy and hormones. And I've given you a bunch of self inquiry questions in this workbook, right? My body feels most drained or sluggish when? If I could reclaim even 10% more energy, I would. And you don't have to answer all of them, but look through these and look at what are those areas that feel most profound? Energy, hormones, libido, confidence, community. And to be able to go, wow, it's not as simple as we've given it credit. Like when I think about a lack of vitality, it's like emotional labor. Like imagine if we were all sitting here on this Zoom and there's a buzzing sound in the background and you're like trying to focus and it's in the background and you can't deny it. Okay, a lack of vibrancy is that. It's that emotional labor playing in the background that's taking up some of our capacity. If you feel drained, if energy is the thing where you go, that's the piece. I look at those questions, I go, yeah, I know my energy is suffering. Just to come up with a quick solution and say, we run a Dutch Plus test. Emmy asks, what's the test? A Dutch Plus test is a kit that I order. It arrives at your front door no matter where in the world you live. You collect it with saliva and urine yourself. And it's an amazing way for us to discover your cortisol, how it's rising and falling. And we have you start your day with adaptogens and protein if your cortisol is really not rising in the morning, right? Maybe we start some maca and ashwagandha. We can kind of hand pick those adaptogens. And so it's just an easy thing to go, okay, can we at least start there? And then women say, I finally wake up and feel like I can get moving and I don't dread the mornings anymore, right? And so whether you end up coming and enrolling in the trifecta or the Women's Vibrancy Code, I cover the cost of your Dutch Plus test. And if it ends up that you're like, no, for some reason, not now, which hopefully that's not it, because not now means not me, but just start with adaptogens. Adaptogens help the body better adapt to stress. Okay, grab my free adaptogen elixir recipes that are on the website under free resources. Start drinking them throughout the day. You're mixing the adaptogen with the protein source, the fat source. Drink them all day long. They shouldn't have caffeine. And watch what they do to your energy. Okay. And then we look at hormones. So, what are some of the questions? The signs my body has been whispering or shouting to me are maybe it's irritability. Okay, maybe it's weight changes. Maybe it's a menstrual cycle being out of whack, hot flashes, lack of libido. Okay, a part of me that I've been ignoring is the support I most long for here, particularly with hormones, because often women can feel super dismissed in the healthcare world. If we just go to, okay, what's a quick solution? Katie and I talked about it yesterday, and that's getting a real comprehensive thyroid panel. Not now, but when you're done, go look at blood work that has been drawn over the last year or two. And I want to see a TSH, a free T4, T as in Tom, number 4, a free T as in Tom 3, and your thyroid antibodies. If I'm ordering it, I'm also adding a reverse T3. So we can really look comprehensively at what's actually happening with your thyroid. Listen, I went to Yale, I got a good education. I was taught you just look at the TSH, maybe a T4, but the ranges that we were taught as normal were just bogus. Okay. So sometimes you've gone to your provider and they're like, okay, everything's fine. It's not your thyroid. And you're like, but wait a minute, I'm tired. I feel kind of depressed. I'm not sleeping. I had a hard time getting pregnant. I'm struggling with infertility. I feel slightly depressed. I'm constipated. I have diarrhea. I have rashes, dry skin, brittle nails, whatever it may be. And you go, really? Are you sure it's not my thyroid? And so sometimes it's just that your T4 isn't converting to your T3. I'm not going to get into the science of that. But what happens is our thyroid produces T4. If anybody's on a medication like levothyroxine, that's T4. But we have to have really healthy gut and liver because our body converts it to something called T3, and T3 is the usable form. Okay. So sometimes you just go, oh, we got to look at some gut microbiome testing to figure out what's going on with your gut. Or something as simple as just adding some selenium and some zinc, because both of those really help the conversion of T4 to T3. Sometimes women will add a thyroid glandular supplement, which is literally like bovine or porcine thyroid gland that's put into encapsulation. And then you're like, the body's like, oh, okay, now I got the memo. And then women say, oh, my energy's back. The weight is dropping. The depression is lifted. I feel like myself again. And so I just really want you to hear, even if you feel like you've seen the providers, even if you've tried all the things, there are still lots of options. Okay. And we could do the same thing with confidence, and we can do the same thing with community, right? With vision, we want to regulate your nervous system, clear your brain fog, bring your vitality back online. And remember, everything is interrelated. So we're looking at your energy, your hormones, your libido, all of it is part of your vision, the community that you keep. And then suddenly dreaming feels safe again, particularly if you surround yourself with others that dream unabashedly and they share their dreams and they don't hold back. They're not afraid of outshining. We can go into a container where we celebrate one another. And so, one of the reasons why I ask everyone if you're interested in coming and joining either the Women's Vibrancy Accelerator Trifecta or the Women's Vibrancy Code, I have a call with you because there's some women I say I don't think it's the right fit, and it's all good. I'll point you in the right direction. But this is a community where we are going to celebrate each other's wins. We are going to lift one another up so that we can vision cast with absolute freedom. and we can share our confidence and we can share our wins and share our growth and cheer one another on, I think it's really important. Everything I just said, and if you're looking at the workbook while I'm talking, anything that just really jumps out at you, what feels like the most potent for you? Listening to Michelle speak in 2014, found myself behind closed doors, exhausted, sad. I had random rashes. My body hurt. I didn't want to be touched. You know what I did about it? Nothing. I was the healthcare provider. I was embarrassed. I thought I was supposed to have all the answers, and providers in the community were referring their patients to me. And luckily, my daughter, my 11-year-old had just been born and she needed some help. I had a naturopath come to the home to check on her. And she looked me in the eyes and said, "How are you doing?" And you know what I said? "I'm fine." And she saw between the lines and she said, "Let me order some labs." In my scenario, my thyroid had crashed and my adrenals had crashed. And I was going on fumes. And yet I was running a network marketing business. I had just planned my 20-year class reunion and a family reunion. And I was a midwife in the community and seeing women in the women's health and making babies and breastfeeding and doing all the things. And you would have never known. But behind closed doors, I was really struggling. And the beauty of that is it part of the trajectory because then I was introduced to functional medicine. I was never taught about adrenal health in my nurse practitioner training and as a midwife, but it helped me pivot what care looked like. And part of it started with me healing my own adrenals and my own thyroid. And so, of course, I'm so grateful. And ironically, that naturopath just reached out to me this week and she said she wanted to work with me. I'm like, holy mackerel. It's so spectacular to see the full circle. You're not alone, and we don't have to stay silent in perfectionism. So, over the past couple of days, we've been diving deep into what it really takes to optimize your hormones and regain your energy and confidence and vitality and to really get the interconnection between all of it. And of course, we're not done yet. We still have Friday and Saturday plus the morning session on Saturday, which is like an embodiment Q&A, put it into action kind of thing. And we'll be there together. And you can continue to ask your questions and get personalized support. Reach out to Leah, text her, email her, and explore what receiving from me and my team could look like. I forgot to mention, she's written chapters in textbooks. She's amazing. She's so good, you guys. And I also want to acknowledge some of you are feeling a massive shift. Maybe it's a new awareness of what's been holding you back, or just a deeper knowing that this is your time to really make a change. And others of you may be noticing, feeling a little bit of resistance, that inner voice asking, is this really possible for me? It worked for Michelle. And watch some of the testimonials on the replay page. Really? And I get it. I was there once too. I pushed through fatigue, dismissed my symptoms, and stayed in my quote unquote comfort zone until I couldn't anymore. And I realized that my body was screaming at me to listen and to stop settling and to step into the next version of myself. And when I did, everything changed. And that has continued. I continue to step into bigger versions of myself, hiring coaches and enrolling in masterminds. There have been years where I've spent $100,000 in a year on just allowing myself to grow. Because what I know is that when I invest in myself, that stays with me forever. And I know that it's currently impacting all of you that are here and receiving from me, as well as my children and my community and my experience in my life. So today I want to make sure that early on I can offer you my version of that possibility, your version of the possibility, the chance to say yes to a real transformation with support and with guidance and with a proven roadmap. Over the past couple days, we've been diving deep into what it really takes to optimize your hormones. And like I mentioned earlier, there's some great tests that sometimes can really move the needle. We're going to have more time. But my hope is that you have some new self-awareness. I want to just make sure that I have time and space to tell you a little bit. I've mentioned the trifecta. I've mentioned the Women's Vibrancy Code. I want to tell you a little bit more about those so that way over these next few days, you have time and space to digest it. And for those of you that are already like, I don't even need the time. I know. Where do I sign? You can also just let Aaliyah know that too. We're not looking for quick fixes. I'm not the place if you just want a quick pill. If you're someone that's been going to providers and you're tired of another prescription, we want to get to the foundation that's going to last. And that foundation might be nutrition, it might be supplementation, it might be identity work, it might be mindset, it might be your relationship with worthiness, how you show up with other women. It's all relevant. So the Women's Vibrancy Accelerator Trifecta is a 90-day hormone, thyroid, and adrenal reset for the woman who's ready to take her first bold step into root cause healing. The trifecta is your launch pad. Okay. It's perfect if you're tired of like a one size fits all protocol. That's not what you're going to get, but you want targeted support to really reclaim your energy, your hormones, your clarity, and you want it to be swift. Okay. So with the trifecta, I'm covering the cost of your Dutch Plus test and your thyroid panel as long as you're in certain geographies. When you book a call, I can give you the specifics. But if you're in some countries, I'm going to help you be in the place of self advocacy. We get creative because thyroid panels are done through blood. But the Dutch Plus test is that kit that shows up at your front door. And that shows me your hormones, your adrenals, your mitochondrial function. It gives me things like what's going on with your dopamine and your melatonin and your methylation. Okay. So with the trifecta, you get personalized one-on-one support with me and Katie, one call with each of us. There are live Q&A calls twice a month. There's educational modules for you to go through in your own timing, and there's the private community. Okay. That's normally 9,500, but I'm offering it at 55.55. As long as you enroll before the 21st, so next Wednesday, I'm adding on an extra one-on-one call and a virtual VIP day, which is really special. Okay, the virtual VIP days, that's usually thousands. And then depending, you'll have the choice to do the extra one-on-one with either me or Katie, and you can make that choice. The rest are going to take it personally. Okay. And so, team, if you can put the link in the chat, that would be helpful. And you guys can look at that link. You have time to make the decision. Just know that you do want to decide by the 21st if you want to take advantage of the extra virtual VIP day and the extra one-on-one call. That's around an extra $4,000 value. Okay. Book a call. On that, you'll see book a breakthrough call. You're welcome to book a call with me. I opened up spots for next week and I'm happy to pop on and see what fit might be the best fit for you. So then on the other hand, there's Women's Vibrancy Code. Okay. That's the program that I've been running for the past 6 years. And that's a 12-month full transformation. Okay. The Women's Vibrancy Code is for the woman who knows she is destined for greatness. You're just like, no, I want the best. I'm ready. Let's go. I want the full thing. For the woman who doesn't just want a reset, she wants a full rebirth. And listen, if you want to start by kind of dipping your toe and going, I just want to try the trifecta first. Let me see how the community feels. Totally fine. It's just if you're like, no, I want the full thing. I want the full transformation. It's for those who really want to reinvent their relationship with their body, their health, their life itself. Kind of, it's that big. It's like soul work. And it's more of a concierge wellness experience. So with that, once again, covering the cost of your Dutch Plus test, but also your GI map, which is your gut microbiome testing. And so you're getting 9 one-on-ones with me and the team dietitian, and also bringing in trauma release sessions, mindset work. I have a team sexologist. There's just a lot more options. And rather than the 2 Q&A calls a month, you get a call every single week. And it's a much more intimate, potent community. Okay. Same thing. You still get the private Facebook group, but then also you have access to the full portal. Generally, that portal alone is 10,000 for me to give women access to. It is a wealth. I mean, the guest speakers that I've brought in, that is every call since April of 2020. And so it really is a more prescriptive approach where depending on what it is that you're really wanting to do, if you're in the place of wanting to build a business, girl, I got you. Okay. I brought in guest experts that are going to be you want more somatic work. You want to do a deep dive into gut health or adrenal health or identity work. We've got a lot there. And then also there's optional in-person retreats. And then same thing for the Women's Vibrancy Code. As long as you say yes by the 21st, I'm still gifting the virtual VIP day and that extra call with me. So it ends up being 10 total calls over the year that are one-on-one. And then you can kind of pick and choose. Like some more concierge clients would just want to do the one-on-one and they don't spend as much time on the group calls. And other women love the group setting. And it's so small and it's so intimate and it's so positive. And so for the Women's Vibrancy Code, that's 19,999, or you can do monthly installments of 1888 a month. Either way, I just wanted to let you know early on, because we still have the next, what, 4 sessions together, that you can just sit with it, let it simmer, let it digest, ask your questions. Please book your call, really, truly. Even if you're like, I don't even know, just book your call with me. Let's have the conversation and kind of sift through it. And if nothing else, I call it a breakthrough call because I'll give you some suggestion that feels like a breakthrough. And just think of the Women's Vibrancy Code as that big roadmap, the community, the team of wellness specialists, and to really help you experience a state of radiant health. And the trifecta is also spectacular too. It's just a little bit smaller investment, doesn't include the gut microbiome testing, doesn't include the full access to everything, but it's still just as spectacular. And you get to say yes. You get to say yes from the woman that you're becoming, not the one who is here today, not the one who's struggling with their energy or their sleep or their hormones or their libido, whatever it is for you. Like, that's the woman of the past. The choices that we make today are what are creating who we're becoming. And so you get to be in the vision casting, even if it feels so foreign and maybe you haven't really worked that dreaming muscle in a long time. To come into this container, you get to start dreaming again. And you get to, like, we were just all making identity boards. It's not just making a vision board of what's the vision of what I want to create, but who is she? And we start embodying that identity. And so I really encourage you to make your decision from her. Okay. You don't have to figure it all out alone. Okay. You are not too late. You are not too broken, right? You get to say, I'm ready. And you get to say yes now for the woman you're becoming, for the life you're creating, for the relationships you're creating, for the community that you're bringing to you. And then you get to come on here one day and share a testimonial from that vibrant, magnetic version of you to look back and go, oh my God, I'm so glad I said the yes from the place of abundance and love and potential, and not the I'll wait till next time, which is really a no. I don't know. I feel afraid. What if it doesn't work? What if I don't show up? Not to make the decision from that version of you, but to really embody her. Hope. Yes, totally. To make the choice from hope. You're right, Amy. We have 5 minutes left. I wanted to kind of wrap it up with a bit of a guided visualization. It has been handed down to me from a very well-known energetic healer. She does recoding work. I'm so grateful that she has kind of gifted me with this sequence, so to speak. And so I'm going to encourage each and every one of you, if you're driving, it would be awesome if you could pull over for a little bit. You can have your video on or your video off. It's not important to me, but I do encourage you just to kind of drop in for a little bit and be in full receivership. And I'm going to do this, be my best to do this in 4 minutes. It might go a minute or two over, but just allow yourself to close your eyes, hand on heart, and take a deep breath and really visualize the most radiant version of yourself. Not the version that's hustling, the version that's rested, that's grounded, that's glowing, that's desiring and desired, that's clear and vibrant. And we have this esteemed privilege to release what's been in the way. So I'm going to read 5 statements, and I want you to pick the one that feels most charged for you right now, the one that feels like the biggest energetic block. I'll read through all 5 of them twice. Okay. And just pick the one that's like, ooh, that's the one that I feel most charged with. I'm not lovable as I am. I don't deserve healthy love. I have to heal more before I can receive. I'm too broken, too much, or not enough. Fear of being hurt again. I'm going to read them again and just choose the one. You might want to open your eyes and grab pen and paper so you can write it down, but just choose the one that's like, I'm not lovable as I am. I don't deserve healthy love. I have to heal more before I can receive. I'm too broken, too much, not enough, or I have fear of being hurt again. Choose the one and just sit with it. And we're going to decode it. And this decoding is across all lifetimes and all time spans. And we're going to do tapping. So you're going to use just your ring finger and go ahead and tap on your heart. Okay. Or find the place in your body that feels most charged with this statement. Maybe it's your chest, maybe it's your belly, maybe it's your throat. And just tap gently on that spot. And I'm going to ask you, you're muted, and just repeat after me. I now release any places and spaces in my physical body and energy field. in my cells, soul, and DNA, where I have been accidentally running the program of, and go ahead and insert your statement and just say it out loud. Nobody can hear you. I release this fully and completely across all time, spaces, dimensions, realities, and genetic lines. I lovingly dissolve this program. If you imagine like computers have codes, right? They have programs running. And we just go to go, whoops, I downloaded a program. I downloaded a code and I'm releasing it now. So choose a different part of your body to tap on. Maybe it's your solar plexus, your belly, your throat, and repeat after me. I now release any places and spaces in my physical body and energy field, in my cells, soul, and DNA, where I have accidentally been running the program of insert your statement. I release this fully and completely. Breathe across all time, spaces, dimensions, realities, and genetic lines. I lovingly dissolve this program and take a deep breath. Okay. And we're going to recode a little bit. Okay. So go ahead and keep tapping. I would try tapping down in your lower belly on your womb space and say out loud, repeat after me while you tap. I now activate and claim that I am ready to receive love effortlessly. Trust my divine path. Run the frequency of vibrancy. Tap a little bit higher, right in the middle of your chest. I choose to align fully with this energy. I call forth divine light to anchor this new program. And up on your heart, tap on your heart. Breathe into every cell of my body, every layer of my being, and my DNA. I activate, up in your throat, these energies across all time, spaces, third eye, dimensions, and genetic lines, and top of your head. I allow this truth to unfold in my life now. And then all of you back on your heart, tap, tap, repeat after me. I am a vibrant woman in bloom, and I choose to take one step towards her today. So, tomorrow we're going to dive into more specific symptoms, the hidden language of your body. We'll dig into thyroid and adrenals more, and we have more to explore. So, make sure you join live Friday and Saturday. Watch the replay. If you missed anything or you want to watch it again, utilize the workbook. Answer the questions, right? Take it seriously. There's homework. If you want to share your homework with Aaliyah, amazing. She'll share it in your folder. And then if you come on Saturday morning for the embodiment, I'm happy to look through things or just, it's really there for you, for your own self inquiry. Once again, we have to know where we're starting in order to know where we're going. Yeah. And to get clear on the path. So I appreciate each and every one of you. So grateful that you've set aside this time for yourself.